Alright, let's get on with this abomination. So this will be another stupid video by me that no one will watch, and let's not talk anymore about that, because I talk too long, and let's get on with it. To be honest with you, I'm not really sure what the fuck this video is going to be about. Usually I have some plan. Yesterday I more thought of it on the ball, so to speak, but I'm not really sure what this will be about, but let's just start it out with parallel dimensions. That's an interesting topic, subject matter. Did you know there is an infinity or an infinite amount of parallel dimensions that I find interesting? And what's even more interesting is there is actually perhaps more than one infinity, ultimately, depending upon the dimension. And again, I don't really understand this, and I would like to understand more about it, or more of it, because, well, to be honest with you, I feel like an even more stupid ass clown because I don't know it. I find in life there's many things I don't know, yet I'm smarter than most of you, simply because I am at least smart enough to know that I don't know anything. Nevertheless, what I find interesting about culture and entertainment is capital, and the ideal, the Karl Marx ideal of let's create art. Let's create art not to make money, but let's make money to create art. That ideal is so looked down upon and scorned by society, and while many of Karl Marx or Marx's ideals, or the ideals of Marxism, were stupid, inferior ideals that fell to laissez-faire capitalism, and probably for the better, it's still to say that that's not a negative ideal. I mean, that's actually quite true, and it's an ideal that I ultimately agree with. I think that you should create money to make art instead of the other way around, because what greater pay is there for that? So that's different from me and the idiots running this country. You have to be paid to create television, to create film, to create music. You need that for money. You just want money. Because what greater standard is there for one's worth or for one's life than to create the culture that surrounds oneself? That if you're a good enough movie director, film producer, television screenwriter, television writer, animator, musician, record company executive, you can help create and develop and form and evolve the very culture itself. That you can create something or produce a work of art in television, and if that becomes successful enough, it will start to interact with the rest of the media, and then that will, such as the news, and it will interact with other shows perhaps, or it will probably first interact with the people, and it will interact with their brains and with the news, and then with the other shows perhaps, and you will have helped create culture itself, and then you'll have a chance to be given awards and things for that. And even if you're not, just the ability to create art, to create something, your brainchild has been birthed, it's on television. And instead of appreciating or respecting that or understanding what great art and what great wonders someone has produced in the world, no, you need pay. It's all about that money. It's all about the money, as Vince McMahon says. Well, take that and start it up your ass, Vince. And that's the problem with WWE right now. I think that's what makes me so disgusted about the WWE and by so many different things in television. It's all about fucking money. Fuck the art, the culture. Let's regenerate society and de-evolve it into a pile of shit. And that's exactly what they've done now. You're gonna make a movie, and I don't care about making art. I don't care about the poetry of it, the philosophy, the news, the entertainment value, even definitely not the art and the philosophy of it. No, let's just give me a big robot on TV and a bunch of explosions, and we'll call it art. And it's a pile of shit. And I don't associate sexuality or nudity with that. I think nudity and sexuality or sexual content in television is good. I think it's good. I think that you need more of it. Now, the only problem with that is it can be to the point where they call it gratuitous. I may have misspelled it. I missaid that. I don't give a rat's ass. The point is, you can do it to the point where it's stupid and idiotic and doesn't mean anything, but you can also do it in a way that enhances the product. And I think even the use of vulgarity, as you know about me, the use of the word fuck, I think George Carlin called that spice and soup, the stew of his entertainment, the art form that he did, in his case comedy. Obviously, I am no maverick at comedy. I couldn't make a goddamn person with laughing gas that had been given laughing gas laugh. If someone took laughing gas and I told a joke, they'd cry. That's how much I suck at it. But the point is, In his case, he called that the spice in his stew, the use of the word fuck. cursing locality. But back to the initial issue of, I think it was parallel universes. Did you know that if there is an infinity of infinities, perhaps, or at least multiple infinities, many infinities of possible outcomes and possible realities that no one knows, then that means that someone like me, well, not me, because as you know, I'm me. I mean, if it was me, I'd probably be a fat guy in another dimension, or perhaps I'd be bald, or maybe dying, or something of that nature. Maybe I would have had my dick chopped off in a goddamn chainsaw accident, or I would have stuck it in a fucking electrical appliance. But in your cases, and all of you people, you know, you may be a billionaire, you may be a goddamn famous wrestler or musician, or perhaps some kind of Playboy bunny or something of that nature. You're doing good in life. Me, I'm a fucking loser in any goddamn dimension. If anything, I'm probably doing worse. But in another dimension, I could have started this same fucking ridiculous video that no one's gonna watch 5 seconds earlier. And if you're for some reason, somehow, in somewhere in the world watching my fucking stupid ass, you may have watched it 5 seconds earlier. It's a very interesting topic, and other things could be different. And if that's true, then there could be a world with minor differences or some nuanced difference in the world that could perhaps create a massive difference in terms of the smaller differences within each individual. And if there is a perhaps multiple amount of dimensions with a multiple affinity of outcomes, then is that not to say that perhaps somewhere in the world there could be a massive difference in the world? Perhaps we're all orange, or we all live upside down, or some horseshit such as that. So it's quite interesting. Is it not possible? And is it not possible that a world very similar to ours could have in the past bled into this world and created a different outcome for this planet? For example, CERN. If you know anything about the CERN, I'm not saying this is the reason for it, but if you know anything about the Mandela effect, one of the reasons behind the Mandela effect, perhaps, or the ideal that there are at least small changes in various times in history and various forms of entertainment, ultimately, more often than not, such as, and this is a good example, or I'll give you this to you after that, but I'll give you a smaller example now, is that JFK, and this is in a form of entertainment, probably one of the best presidents we've had. Some people have issues with him, but JFK actually was killed in a 6-seater instead of a 4-seater car. Most people remember it being a 6-seater, and now also based on in part because of the 6-seater, and I was one of the first ones to see this before I knew anything about the Mandela effect. But it looks like Jackie Kennedy actually may have been the one to kill Kennedy, so that's interesting, and it doesn't fit with the former conspiracy theorist conclusion as to how he died or ideals about how he died. But the ideal behind this is that CERN may have created these smaller changes, and CERN, of course, has a logo. Is somewhere in northern Europe, I believe. I can't think of where, but it's a underground base. It's an underground construction that deals with science, trying to create what they call trying to find what they call the God particle. The original name, the goddamn particle, was changed to the God particle because it seemed more pleasing to the Christians and whatnot. So it's the ideal behind what might have been the particle that helped form the world, that helped spark the Big Bang, created all of this. And since they supposedly found the God particle, as rumored, I think in 2012, somewhere around then, and of course 2012 is an important year in Mayan mythology, it's believed that many of these Mandela effects really started happening, or that it really kicked into full gear. But also the logo for the Mandela effect is the 666 logo. Actually, it's an inner circle of 666. It's also the same symbol for the Rage Against the Machine guitarist has on his shoulder. It's a 666 tattoo. And it's also a rather tribal looking tattoo, very cool, by the way. But it's also they also have the Siva, the Hindu god of destruction. When I think it's Vishnu in the I can't think of the name of the book. I feel like such an asshole. Anyways, in the initial book, the Bhagavad Gita or something like that. That of course I can't think of that guy's name. But anyways, one of the what was called the Four Horsemen of Apocalypse. One of the people that helped work on the Manhattan Project and nuclear bomb that helped in World War II and kick Hitler's ass. he quoted the Bhagavad Gita about Vishnu turning into Shiva, to persuade the prince to do his duty and to engage in war with his brother and to kill many people that he knew, because that was his job. If he was to engage in priestly activity, he would be a priest. He must fulfill his true will, and that is for him to be a prince and a warlord, or a lord of war, instead of peace. So he takes on his multi-form armed form and says, "Behold, I have become death, the destroyer of worlds." Oppenheimer, that's his name. And it's a very interesting story. But anyways, that's their fucking mascot, pretty much. It's like, if wrestling had a mascot in 1998, it would have been Sable with the handprints and the big tits. And then later on, when it became a pile of shit, Hornswoggle, the leprechaun running around. That would have been their mascot. Well, CERN's mascot is Shiva, pretty much. So that's interesting. The Destroyer, and many people argue the Mandela effect is nefarious. There was nefarious activities and negative. And it's all very interesting, very fascinating. But back to the point. Debris disgusts me because of their lack of intelligence, lack of creativity, and they all do. And that's what's running the country. And many of these problems could be taken care of very easily. But I just encourage you, don't worry about what I'm saying so much as worry about what you want as intelligent. Go back to when people gave a fuck. Go back to WWE's Attitude Era. Go back to something as simple as Seinfeld. Shows we used to love and enjoy. They help create our culture and develop us as people, as individuals. In art, in culture, and entertainment, and create something in the world. And don't just get into art if you're a child watching, if you're a young person. Do that. Don't worry about what other people want. Worry about what you want. Create art, create entertainment, create the culture that it can be as you want it to be. And that's my message, I think. Don't be all about money. Create art, create entertainment, make that your pay. Do something different. This is odd, but sex comedy is something that no one understands. Many people might look at it as, well, you only like sex comedy because you want to see girls or anything. No, it's not necessarily true. But, I think that there's something to be said about various things like American Pie, Porky's, the old Attitude Era, much of it's comedy. Even Sex in the City. Sex comedy is a very funny thing, and I think that's how we need to look at sexuality and sexual discourse in this country. Not as Me Too, not as rape culture and Me Too, when everything's rape and everything's disrespectful to women and everything's degrading, blah, 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 blah. No, some things are just for a laugh and people need to enjoy their life. And that's really what it all comes down to, and it's shameful that people can understand that. And that's it. Just try to live your life and try to create. We need creation. We need it. Life. We need life. 3666.